Hey, Jason from National Camera Exchange here. In this tutorial, we're going to look at some of the different views you can find in the Library Modules workspace. So we've gone through and we've narrowed down how many images we're looking at, and now we want to start kind of going through them and maybe comparing them or looking at some of the other views that we can use. On the bottom here in the toolbar here, we have different options on how to view our images. So we've got the grid view here. And this is kind of one of the views you'll use right after you import images, or a view where you can select many images and keyword them all at once. And then if I double click on an image, I can move over into the loop view, which is also possible to change in between by selecting the loop view here. The more interesting views are the side-by-side view or the compare view, which allows me to look at images in detail next to each other and decide which one's really good. So now that we had them narrowed down, I have two images that are pretty close to each other, and I can look at them side by side and just really decide which one I like better. It's kind of neat. I can zoom in, and it zooms in on both images, so I can compare sharpness. I can compare, images for color or motion blur, that kind of thing. So it's one of my favorite views to use when I'm trying to go through a shoot. Now that I'm in the compare view and I'm looking at the images, I can select which images is, as you see up here, my select or my candidate. If I use my arrow key, it's going to change which image is my candidate. So if I go left, it moves to the next image in the film strip. Or actually I went right, but the next image in the film strip that's to the right. I can also use the arrow keys down here in the bottom next to the done. And the other option that I have, so if we go back to the left, so I'm looking at these two images, if my candidate is my better image and I want to move that to my select, then I can use this option down here, which shifts my candidate over to my select and then puts a different option here in my candidate. So now my selected image or my favored image is here on the left instead of on the right. And I can continue to go through and compare it to other images. So that's the compare view. And so the other option, if you look down here, I have several images that are somewhat similar, and I can move over into this view here, the survey view. I don't usually call it by name. So you can see that I'm looking at two images, but if I add more images to this, I'll look at more than one image at a time. So I'm going to command select a couple more images, and that allows me to select images at random out of my film strip. So I've got the command key held, and then I'll click on other images. And you can kind of see that I'm getting some of those similar images up here. And I'll keep going as many images as I add. I don't need the image of the bird here, so we'll deselect that. And now I'm looking at these four images, and I can compare them and decide which one's better, or kind of look for more detail. You can't zoom in like you can in the survey view, or sorry, in the compare view or anything like that, but you can enlarge them bigger than just the thumbnails. So that's the different options on how to look through your images in the workspace. Thanks for watching. For more tutorials, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Let us know in the comments below what other tutorials you'd like to see. Until next time, I'm Jason with National Camera Exchange.